Start of turn 6. Chariots hear the cry. The horns go off. Son of Mick 2 is leading. Nothing like a little Spanish cavalry in the back end. That warms up your appetite being a charioteer. There'll be a resurgence in the chariot sales next week. Top of turn 6. We didn't rally, but boy, we're running hard. Rolled a 12 for the route roll for movement, so we're outpacing them still. Here it was just the royal pulp. There's one survivor in the carnage. Obviously he broke and fled and tried to surrender to King Mick. So it's the end of the top of turn 6. Mick's army is slowly redeploying. Roman army is slowly redeploying. And going over to these grain fields, plowed ground over here where phalanxes don't like to travel, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the end of the game here as we get towards it. Only other piece of bad news is the citizen cavalry here, that's you guys, couldn't beat up on this half-starved Roman crap. So we got pushed back our normal move and got disrupted, so we're fighting with a disadvantage. Meanwhile, the lower class citizens are fleeing back to the family temple. End of the first half of turn 6. End of turn 6. Roman cavalry got pushed back again. 5 centimeters. Did find the rule that skirmishers have to face all in the same direction. You can't do little weird things. They're always facing in exactly the same direction. The formation might not be linear or whatever, but they're all facing the same direction. Here we can see the advancing Roman mob. Obviously coming over towards our sacrificial temple here. They haven't heard the good news yet. Army of King Vic, lining the low hills, establishing the new border. As you can see, the sun slowly creeping into the battlefield. Top of turn 7. Our cavalry finally gives up the ghost and gets shattered, falls below minimum strength and it's less than 5 figures, and lost the combat, so they're running from the field. Romans are still coming towards the sacrificial temple here. It's the top of turn 7, finished. Army of King Mick, looking good. Our third class citizens here on the far left. Son of Mick here holding the hill. There he is in purple out front. In the bright sunlight, showing the army of Mick. Cavalry and the chariots are turning around. He's out here and bathed in the sunlight. They saw the light, they rallied. Samsonites are gonna fight again. End of turn 7, out here, Samnites are holding stuff. They rolled their passing morale. Just backing up, disrupted, but they're already disrupted. Other than that, extraordinary, you're out there just parading around. Got the Mick flankers. Mick's great line, looking good, but we're phalanx. We don't like crops and things like that on the other side, so we're not going out there. Romans are just futzing around out here. And finally, as you can see, the citizen cavalry is no more. Temple looters. End of turn 7. End of top of turn 8. Well, Samsonites didn't make it. Failed the morale check horribly. Rolled a natural 12. It's all over. So the chariots aren't going to come to the rescue. Over here we're facing each other off a little bit. And the Etruscan line is slowly backing forwards, turning around or backing up a little bit. Because we're not going to go down there, it's not good hoplite, classical phalanx territory. End of turn 8. As you already know, we've already lost the rest of the Samsonites. Face off here, cavalry, chariots. King Mick on the end of the line. This line is slowly backing. Some units are turned around using a reform move. These being classical phalanxes, takes forever to turn around. Sending off one of the third class citizens over here to hold the rear. Roman army is slowly pivoting in place. Lining up. And out here, the temple guards, well, they're just getting chucked by slingers. End of turn 8. One of our maneuvering sticks, as you can see on the table there. All pre-measured, numbered. Top of the ninth. The only thing that's really exciting is the light chariots are chasing down the Roman consul general. Roll a natural 2, but a d6 on a 6 would have been El Muerte. But we missed him. Not much is happening. End of turn 9 here. The Roman half of the turn. Extraordinary turn to face the chariots. There's King Mick moving his plotting guys. The cavalry unit didn't make the wheel roll completely, so it failed its DL test, even with King Mick in the area. Rolled a 9. Otherwise, it's the end of turn 9. End of turn 10. The dance out in the far right for Mick's army is still going on. Otherwise, from the Mick army point of view, we're looking up on the hills here. The Romans doing a little thing, getting a little bit rambunctious here. This unit's coming forward a little bit, sort of testing the waters. No doubt there's violations of the religious order going on in the old ruined temple over there. Balearic slingers, probably adding their graffiti to the walls. It's the end of turn 10. End of 11. Just marching around, turning around, face to face. Cavalry didn't make it on the last rolls. Well, at least the class 3 citizens are coming up here to work on this flank. But unfortunately, it looks like there's total disarray in the King Mick's army here. Those classical phalanxes can't do those 90s and 180s, so they're having a hard time turning around and marching around, and the Romans are starting to get a bit anxious down here in the lower thing. But even they're failing, because this unit rolled a natural 12, so it flubbed it. Into turn 12, something you just don't see too often in Clash of Empires. This unit, which had blundered before, so was disrupted, it's now recovered, because it's the end of their turn, attempted to charge the first class hoplites up on top of the hill with Son of Mick commanding. They failed the roll, but before that we had to make a decision to respond, and since we were facing away, we elected to flee away. So we got our guys fleeing down the hillside while the third class hoplites look on, and the Romans, of course, failed to charge. Figure that one out, folks. Obviously these two armies don't want to fight today by the looks of it. And over here we're just doing the dance card routine. People are turning away, facing away, chasing down chariots. And King Mick is trying to look for a fight. So this is the end of turn 12.